Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Matthew Foltz. We begin with breaking news. Just moments ago, the head of the Secret Service, Kimberly Cheeto, resigned from her position. This comes as she faced increasing pressure following the attempted assassination on former President Donald Trump. Yesterday, during testimony on Capitol Hill, lawmakers were calling on Director Cheeto to step down. She testified before the House Oversight Committee on what led up to the attempted assassination of former President Trump. In her testimony, the director praised the actions of the agents who immediately reacted to the shooting. She also accepted responsibility for lapses that allowed the attack to take place.
At a number of our protective sites, there are suspicious individuals that are identified all the time. It doesn't necessarily mean that they constitute a threat.
Right now, we're expecting an official public announcement from Cheeto later this afternoon. Also breaking news this afternoon, within the last hour, the Big Ten announcing Indianapolis will host the Big Ten football championship game through 2028. The announcement comes as the conference hosts its annual media day at Lucas Oil Stadium. All of the Big Ten's 18 teams will be here in Indianapolis over the coming days, highlighting the expansion of the conference. Lucas Oil has been the host of the Big Ten Championship since its inception in 2011. Our Dave Calabro and Dominic Miranda will both have the latest from Media Day coming up later this evening on 13 News. Well, switching gears now to taking you outside as you take a live look over downtown Indianapolis. Been a pretty hazy day today with the sun, but not as much as yesterday. Sean joins us now, and we could see some, it's part of that haze, as you said yesterday, from Canada, right?
It is definitely far western U.S., parts of Canada, and unfortunately, it's going to get worse here.
Oh,
so
man.
I'll talk a little more about that coming up here about 12:15. Hopefully by 2028, all these construction projects across Indianapolis will be done, because this one on the southeast side, that 465 closure is still causing issues, and it will cause issues here until the 5th of August. But we've really seen it here. Again, 70 east and 65 north toward the south split. If that is your travel, or if you got friends that take that route, I would find an alternate route here, because it remains backed up at this hour. This is 65 northbound lanes. Again, northbound going toward the split. That's near Raymond Street. This is 70 eastward at the south split there. All right, let's talk weather now. And as Matthew mentioned, it's hazy, and it will ramp up here over the course of the next 24 hours. Visible satellite showing the clouds starting to pop a little bit, and similar to yesterday, we're going to have some spotty showers and rumbles of thunder here. At this hour, there's not a whole lot going on, but we're starting to see the clouds build vertically here. We're already in the low to mid 80s, and we're going to peak out here right around 84, 85 degrees as we go into the afternoon. Your odds of rain are about 20-30% here. They'll go up tomorrow. We'll talk about that too, coming up in the 7-day forecast.
All right, we'll see you then, Sean. This afternoon, we know that IMPD investigators are still searching for possible suspects in 2 separate homicide cases happening within hours of each other. We told you about these shootings yesterday here at noon, and just moments ago, we learned the name of the victim killed yesterday morning on Indy's east side. Police tell us someone shot 41-year-old Aaron Jackson on the porch of a house near Sherman and New York Street. First responders rushed Jackson to a hospital in serious condition, but he did not survive. Detectives are now looking for the gunman in connection to a homicide that happened just hours earlier on the near south side. Investigators tell us they found 18-year-old Gabriel Pedreza dead inside of a home near Shelby Street and Troy Avenue. No word yet on a suspect or if any arrests have been made. If you have any information on either of these shootings, you can leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers. That number is right there on your screen, 317-262-TIPS. Well, right now, the trial for an Indianapolis man accused of shooting and killing multiple members of his own family is underway. This afternoon, we're taking a closer look at the details of this case. Raymond Childs III is charged with killing his parents, his 13-year-old sister, his 18-year-old brother, and that brother's pregnant 19-year-old girlfriend. It happened almost 3.5 years ago. Investigators say Childs' 15-year-old brother ran out of the house before being shot twice. He survived and is now a witness for the prosecution.
He hid in the nearby laundry room and listened as there was a brief struggle before his brother shot their parents to death. He heard his father's last words, "I love you, Raymond."
And Childs' defense attorneys claim their client was at his girlfriend's house, and there's evidence that implies two shooters committed the act. They say this case is based on misidentification and a misguided investigation.
Xavier Childs will come in here today and tell you that his brother shot his family and shot him. But I want you to pay particular attention to what Xavier said right after the shootings, which was that he wasn't sure his brother was a perpetrator, and he couldn't say for sure he saw his brother with a gun.
The trial is expected to take up at least a week. Childs faces life in prison without parole if found guilty on all charges. Well, 13 News is working to learn the latest on a mass shooting in Anderson over the weekend that sent 7 people to the hospital. Police say the shooting happened during a Stop the Violence block party with more than 300 people. Our Chase Howell reports.
Gunshots and screams woke up neighbors living at 22nd Arrow Avenue Sunday morning.
Out of the year that we've been here, that no shots of, like, nobody has ever shot a gun out here. So this was really a scary and surprising experience.
Casey Woods' home was in the middle of the chaos. Her security cameras caught the aftermath of the shooting and people hiding out behind her house.
That's the scary part about it all, because I thought that we could all just hang out and get along and everybody would be fine, but somebody just had to come and mess it up and hurt several people.
Monday afternoon, you could see crime scene tape overflowing out of a garbage can, but you could also see people in bright green vests, like Jason Fullington, who founded the Madison County Hand Up Initiative. Fullington says he and his group go to neighborhoods after shootings happen to offer support.
Sometimes it's in the ways of just letting people have a voice and let them express their concerns with the community. It's also to maybe connect them with resources that they may need to help them with a situation they may be going through.
Woods and Fullington say nothing good happens after midnight.
I don't believe a party should be going on that late in the first place. I think that, I'm not trying to cast judgment, but at the same time, we have teenagers out in the streets in the middle of the night and they're carrying pistols. It's not a safe environment, and I don't want my children out in that environment, and I think most parents wouldn't, but I just think more parents need to be involved and to keep their children off the streets.
Anderson police say all the victims from Sunday morning's shootings were between 18 and 25. At last check, all were listed as stable. Reporting in Anderson, Chase Howell, 13 News.
Time is now 12:08. The FAA and NTSB are investigating a fatal plane crash in Benton County, killing 1 person. And here's what we know this afternoon. Crews responded to reports of a crash near Oxford, Indiana. That's about 20 miles west of Lafayette. Investigators discovered a single-engine plane that went down. They later found a person dead at the scene. This afternoon, we're still working to learn what may have led to the crash, as well as the name of the person who died. We'll pass along any updates once we learn more. Well, this afternoon, we're working to see if charges have been filed against 4 suspects accused of robbing businesses across the city, and one of those suspects is just 15 years old. Police say the suspects robbed a Dollar Tree off Washington Street last Thursday and drove off in a silver car. Then investigators realized it was the same car tied to another armed robbery back in June. Once police pulled the suspects over, investigators say they found evidence in the car linking them to 5 other robberies. Investigators say the 4 suspects then admitted to their roles in the series of robberies. The man tied to leaking evidence photos in the Delphi murders case is now reaching a deal with prosecutors. Under the terms of the deal, prosecutors will dismiss the misdemeanor case against Mitch Westerman only if he follows the terms of his pretrial diversion program. Westerman told investigators that while visiting the office of a defense attorney in the Delphi case, he snapped pictures of evidence photos and then shared those pictures. Abby Williams and Libby German were both killed in the woods more than 7 years ago. A probationary officer with the Kokomo Police Department is out of a job this afternoon and facing preliminary criminal charges. Police just arrested him yesterday on several counts. Some of them include sexual misconduct with a minor as well as child seduction. The Kokomo police chief says another law enforcement agency reached out about the allegations. That's when Kokomo police leaders launched an internal investigation and then reached out to state police about doing its own investigation. According to Kokomo Police Department, the officer was fired based on policy violations alone.